Aloha and shalom. We are here for the new moon activation, and though the new moon is tomorrow, I'm ready right now to do the activation. I'm sort of ready. All right. In a little makeshift spot here, so bear with me. All right. Setting up while you tune in. All right, so we're here for the new moon activation. New moon is new beginning. It's the dark sky, denoting that blank slate. We're starting fresh. So we are ready to find out what is the theme of the month that we're stepping into. It's really good to see you guys live tuning in. Yeah, my people, my family, my tribe. So again, new moon is all about this new beginning. What are we calling in? What is the theme of the month going to be? But really, what is the theme of the week, right? Like the new moon reading, I like to see it as kind of the reading for the whole month, right? But even though we come and meet here every week, we get more detailed. This one is like the big one for the month. What are the main themes that we're stepping into right now? So just shuffling while you tune in. Make sure you have your water, whatever you need to be comfortable. Feel free to share this video now while we're live with any family or friends who could really use some support right now, who could really enjoy this message of the week with us. Or feel free to share the video at the end, because the recording will be here and it'll also be on YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, as usual. Okay, giving thanks in advance for this message that's about to come through. Thank me, thank you, thank we, and thank the one. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, for the message that's about to come through, for this map to help us have the clarity to move forward with purpose, with the most grace and ease, avoiding crisis as best as we can. Let us know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. Where in the world are you right now? Let us know. We're lighting up the grid. Okay, once again, thank you. The current challenge and gift, where we're launching from, what's been, what we're stepping away from, what we can now move away from. And just like, what are we stepping into? What is this challenge and gift going to be the bridge to? So we have a clear trajectory. And then as usual, the Hebrew letter for the ally of the week. Okay. Beginning with the challenge and gift. So we have major arcanum, the Fool. The Fool is always present. They're all always present. But the Fool is like the lens you want to see the other cards through, right? That zero is like a hole or a perspective to see through. And this is a great card to receive on the new moon because it's all about new beginnings, right? It's all about starting fresh. And we have that opportunity within each moment because each moment is new and each moment holds an eternity. So if this is the current challenge and gift, what is that telling us? that right now, this is the main thing that comes through, that right now we have the opportunity to let go of things that we're really holding on to. And this could be a thought program, or just one simple thought, which really is an entire program, right? Because one thought can change the way we think overall in general. So it could be that we're holding on to a thought. It could be that we're holding on to a way of being, a way that we have been behaving. Maybe we're holding someone else to an old version of themselves. Maybe we're holding on too tightly to a person or a situation that is needing to change. And don't be fooled by the outside details of the situation, right? Like the physical person that you're standing in front of. If you're attached to a person, right? A relationship, for example, and that relationship needs to evolve. Think big. Remember, it's not necessarily that you need to walk away from this person. It could be that. It could also be that the relationship just needs to evolve and needs to change from the way it has been in order for it to work for everyone, in order for it to serve the highest good. So open up your mind and ask, what are you holding on to? How can you let it go? How can you let it evolve to what it needs to be? Whether that involves you remaining connected to the situation or not. Remove your ego, remove the attachment for a moment, and ask yourself, what is the next best stage for this person, for this job, for this project, for this home, for this being, for myself? What is the next best version of that, of me, of them, of this situation? Truly, in reflection of the true plan of bringing heaven to earth, which really simply put is the plan to be more virtuous, to bring more light into this world. When you really come back to that perspective, then you can see for sure, more clearly, what you need to do for yourself to be that, to be better, to do better. From that place, you can let go of your attachment to, say, a person, and you can ask, what does that person really need in order to be their best self, regardless of what that means for me? And from there, you can extract the honest, egoless answer in reflection of the divine plan for the highest good of all is one. What needs to happen for this job? Let's say you're really attached to a job and you're realizing it's out of fear, right? Because I need this money, because I'm afraid to get a new job. Well, are you really filling that role, filling that position for the best? Are you doing a good job? And even if you're getting by, are you fulfilled? Because if not, that's not for the highest good of all is one. That position should be filled by someone who's good at it and someone who wants to be there. Same thing for a relationship. You may feel attached to a relationship or a situation, but is it for your highest good? Is it for their highest good? Is it for everyone's highest good? Is it hurting someone? Maybe it's not hurting either of you, but is it hurting someone within the circle that's affected by this relationship you're attached to? So it's really time to examine, how can we start fresh within our own energy, within our relationships, within our projects, within our home? How can we start fresh by using this strategy of analyzing, all right, I have this opportunity to start fresh. What needs to shift? And how can I be honest about that? Beyond my own temptations, releasing my fear of suffering or discomfort. Remembering that even if I feel afraid to let go of something and let it change, I can remind myself, I can remember that it's perfect. And if I do that, I will be blessed. I will feel better, much better than I'd feel holding on to that thing that deep down inside I know is not for the best, right? It's like we could be afraid, like, I really don't want to let go of this thing, but we have to remind ourselves that once I do, it'll be even better. It's actually silly that I'm afraid, because deep down inside I'm conflicted, and that conflict within myself, knowing deep down that this thing, this situation, this behavior, this thought program, this belief is not for my highest good, then I know for sure that that conflict is going to continue to manifest as my suffering, as my separation. Because if we're not feeling good about something to our core, if there's some part of us deep down that knows this is not for the best, we can expect it is not sustainable. We can expect it is not for the highest good. And we should right now empower ourselves to change that situation rather than wait for the rug to be pulled out from under us, because there is only one who's going to pull out that rug but yourself, right? So there's no one to blame at that point. There's only the self. So instead of allowing it to come to that point where it feels like such a dramatic shift, why not be honest about that right now and take care of it now? And your higher self, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is counting on you to come to these truths, these realizations within yourself, and act on them. And the sooner you act, it just displays your level of faith and trust in yourself and in your intuition and in the divine plan, in the universe. Okay, so the speed that you act on your intuition determines your level of faith and trust. And that's something for you to observe within yourself. Forget about anyone else. It's all one anyway. You're here to show yourself that, yes, I trust my intuition and my logic, which are other words for my masculine and my feminine energy, my polarities. I trust those parts, those most important parts of myself. And when I have a realization through the unification of those parts, meaning when I realize something from my God self, right? When I realize something from a place of intuition and logic, I'm going to act right then and there because I'm confident in those voices, especially when they are united as one. I'm not going to sit around and wait. When I discover something, when I have that realization, I'm going to act. And what happens when we do that is it's nothing outside of you. There is nothing outside of you. This place deep within you honors yourself. That light within starts to radiate. It's like this deep validation of your light and the truth of who you are. When you act on it, there's that deepest part of you that goes, wow, yes, I trust myself. I trust this universe. I am safe. I will always make the right choices. And the more you practice this, acting on that logic and intuition with authenticity and with speed, right? Authentically, quickly. The more you do this in your life, the more secure you're going to start to feel within your body, within your mind, within your emotions, within your soul. The more secure and blissful you're going to feel within this space that you're currently occupying. In this body, in this lifetime, you develop a sense of security and trust in this lifetime and beyond. And beyond. Because what you start to cultivate and what you start to feel is really an expansion of your light, which is eternal. So therefore, that effect goes beyond this body and beyond this life. Although it does affect you in this body, in this life, it also goes beyond. So that is a worthy pursuit. You know what I'm saying? So act on your intuition, and your logic. Do what you know all the way through is right now, in order to start fresh, to give yourself a fresh start, to hold space for others to have a fresh start, to hold space for that job or that project or that situation to truly up level in the name of the highest good of all as one. That's for all of us. So be honest with yourself and act on what you are realizing right here, right now, needs to be done in order to initiate a fresh start for the one in all things. Okay, what we're moving away from, our launching pad, is the Queen of Swords. So we have a Major Arcanum and we have a Court card. We have a Royal card right here. Queen of Swords. And the energy that she represents is this sovereignty of the heart. She is the one who addresses the heart of the challenge. And she stays strong, but she also stays compassionate, and she does with love what must be done. So we've been in this space of sovereignty and protecting our hearts. And remember, this is a spectrum, right? So some of us may have been too fiercely protecting, putting up walls. And some of us may have been really sloppy with our boundaries and allowing ourselves to be walked all over, right? It's an archetype that we're all experiencing on this spectrum. Regardless, we're all launching from this archetype, this place of sovereignty and need to protect and get really messy in the emotions that were involved with any particular challenge you've been going through, right? You've been deep in the seat of those emotions and trying to decide what to do with those emotions, with those feelings around the challenging situation. But now it's time for a new beginning. We already addressed those feelings. We know how we feel about the challenge. We've gotten clear with what our feelings are, and hopefully, compassionately, what the feelings of others are in the situation, in the challenging situation. And now we're ready to act with loving kindness to do what must be done to create a fresh start for all those challenges and all the people involved, and really any situation in life where we felt the energy has been stuck. Because it doesn't just apply to one situation or one relationship or one thing. This archetype is everywhere right now. So we have the opportunity to really create a new energy all around us. And in order to do that, we really have to let go of being overprotective of our hearts, of getting stuck within the emotions of a challenging situation. It's time to grasp what we learned from reflecting on those emotions, right? Last week was the final quarter. It was all about processing, getting ready for this new moon. So let's not get stuck there. Let's take what we gleaned from that process. What did we glean from that process? What did we learn from our feelings about the situation? And let's do what we have to do to create a new beginning. And we're moving toward another court card. Okay, so we've got our major in the middle, and we got our court cards on the sides. Pretty major cards right here, pretty big cards right here. All right, Knight of Swords looks like this. And it's another sword, so we have the Fool, and then we're surrounded by swords. So what we're stepping into is the Knight of Swords, which is all about action within the problem. So it's really like we're reiterating what we already said, right? We're confirming that it's a time to act. We're stepping into a time to act. So how does it all piece together? We've processed our emotions. We've learned more about ourselves and others and the situation. And now it's time to start fresh, to really see that new beginning. So what we're going to step into as we envision this new beginning and we see what we really need and what the world needs to up level, then we're going to be called to act. Right? Because the challenge that we've been moving through is still upon us. Everything is reflecting that challenge we've been going through. We need to move ourselves out of that. And in order to move ourselves out of that, we need to act. We need to take actions. We need to shift consciously with intention. We need to shift our thoughts. We need to shift our words. And we need to shift our behaviors in order to move ourselves to, through, and beyond the challenge. And that's what the Knight of Swords is all about. So what does that mean? We're going to be called to muster our bravery, our courage. We're going to be called to act on things that for a long time we felt that we've been stuck with, right? Like cat's got your tongue, things you haven't been able to say. It's gonna be time to say it. And with kindness. But beyond that, with compassion, which isn't always just kind, right? It's a lot of things. It's all of the virtues. It's with patience, saying things with patience, saying things with understanding, saying things firmly and with boundaries, because that's a part of compassion, right? So as we work toward manifesting this new vision, this renewed reality, we're going to be given opportunities to act in ways that give us the power to shift the situation from the old to the new. It doesn't just happen. A new dimension is born through the old one based on our thoughts, words, and actions. So we're going to be given those opportunities to move through the challenge, which means speaking up, saying the uncomfortable thing, saying the thing that someone is still too uncomfortable to say for you both, making the move that has felt very scary for whatever reason. And the ally of the week is the letter Mem. This is the Hebrew letter that represents the element of water. She's connected to Arcanum 13 in the tarot because she's the 13th letter of the alphabet, and 13 in the tarot is the Arcanum of death and transformation, and most importantly, rebirth. So think Mem, new moon, perfect, the waters of renewal and rebirth. And it's perfect, right over the Fool was pulled like this. Right? Time to allow those cleansing waters to renew us, rebirth us. So it's perfect as our ally. It's saying, all right, you've been processing all of these emotions. You've been getting to the heart of what you really feel, getting to the heart of the emotions in the situation in general, meaning understanding how others are feeling. What does the heart say about the challenge? And now we're ready to wash that away so that it can transform into the next best version, into the next best thing. This allows us to keep our eye on the prize, the challenge and gift of renewal and a new beginning. And it also can soothe us, bring solace, bring comfort as we inevitably approach, with anticipation, because now we know, as we inevitably approach these opportunities. We're going to face these opportunities that can be uncomfortable. So we're carrying that water with us, carrying our intention for renewal, giving us that purpose, drive, motivation, inspiration to face those upcoming challenges. But also the water element being a soothing factor for us, right? Because we might feel a lot of fire, we might feel a lot of discomfort, but that water not only is inspiring us and motivating us, reminding us of that renewal, it's also calming us and soothing us throughout, right? Mem is that water is also connected to the mother. In Hebrew, that's Ima. That's the Aleph, Mem, Aleph, right? It's the Mem surrounded by the most powerful letter, the Aleph, the one. It's the mother being held by the light of the one. This is so powerful. So remember, it's not just motivating us toward renewal, it's also comforting us in the process along the way, because it can be uncomfortable to die to what was. However exciting it can be to be reborn to the new. Comfort, so the old can die, and inspiration, so the new can be born. Okay, so new moon, very powerful. We have the letter of renewal, rebirth. We have the Fool, and we're surrounded by swords, okay? We're moving through a challenge. We've already gotten into the messiest part of it. We've come to the center of the challenge just recently and have come to this place of understanding with what we really feel about the situation and what others really feel. We've touched the heart of the matter, the truth of the challenge. There's no further to go. Now it's time to come up, rise up, recognize what we learned from that process about ourselves and one another, and do with that what we must to start fresh, turn a new leaf. And as we envision that new world, that new situation, moving beyond the challenge, we will be presented with opportunities that solidify this new world, that give us the opportunity to speak up and act on what we know is right in order to move ourselves from the old world to the new. And the Mem, the mother, is comforting us along the way as we go through the discomfort of letting go and dying to the old. but she's also inspiring us to be reborn and keep our eye on the prize, look ahead toward what we know must happen, toward what we know we must do. Happy new moon. So glad I got to be live with you guys again. Yeah, so much I can say, but I'm just grateful. And I am shipping out books this week, so if anyone wants to learn how to do this for themselves, that's what my books are for. There's a book on each, the major arcanum and the minor arcanum. Yes, I am doing private readings right now. I have responded to your emails, so look out for them. If you want a private reading, please reach out to me, email me, info@royalpathtarot.com, or you can private message me here. And thank you for your donations, for giving back for these activations as they've supported you on your journey. Remember, the recording is going to be on Instagram and YouTube, Rebecca Magic, if you want to share this with someone who's not on Facebook. I see you next week. Aloha, shalom.